All right, let's dive right into this. Welcome to today's explainer. I want you to take just a quick second and really think about the world around us. I mean, think about the smartphone sitting right there in your pocket. Did you know it actually has millions of times more memory than the computers that literally sent the Apollo astronauts to the moon? It's wild. We've got vehicles that can zip us across the globe, medical treatments that are basically miracles, and rockets launching us into the stars. And, well, all of these incredible modern wonders don't just happen by magic, right? They're driven by this invisible engine, a really powerful combination of disciplines that are just constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible. So today, we are going to unpack exactly what that engine is, how it works, and most importantly, how the source material suggests you can use it to make a real, tangible difference in the world. But before we get into all the technical nuts and bolts, the HeroesMart curriculum actually grounds our exploration today in some really ancient wisdom. It points to Proverbs 10:14, which states, "Wise people store up knowledge." Now, what's really interesting about this is how it frames the whole learning process. According to the source material, the goal isn't just to memorize a bunch of dry facts or, just pass a test. True learning is framed as gaining wisdom. It's about storing up knowledge so that you can genuinely understand the universe and your place in it. So as we look at some of the most cutting-edge advancements in human history today, try to keep this foundation in the back of your mind. This idea from the curriculum that we're striving not just to be smart, but to be truly wise.
Okay, so here's our roadmap for this explainer. First, we'll look at the magic of STEM. Then, we'll break down the 4 STEM domains. After that, we'll check out some world-changing STEM innovations. And finally, we'll dive into education, morality, and wisdom. Let's jump in.
Kicking things off with Part 1, the magic of STEM.
So, you've probably heard the acronym STEM thrown around a lot, but why is it actually such a huge deal? Well, these are the fields producing the breakthroughs that literally shape our daily lives. They completely revolutionize how we communicate across continents and how we travel. We're talking massive breakthroughs in healing and medicine here, everything from vaccines to crazy robotic surgeries. It lets us explore the vast unknown of space and the deepest parts of our oceans. Ultimately, STEM innovation just leads to a massively improved quality of life and drives global economic growth. But here's the so what for you. STEM offers some absolutely incredibly exciting career opportunities. If you want a career where you're solving real global challenges and making things tangibly better, this is for sure the path.
Let's move right along to Part 2 and actually break down what these 4 STEM domains are: science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. First up is the S, science. Think of science as the ultimate explorer, right? It's that structured process we use to ask why and how to figure out exactly how the natural world operates. Think about Marie Curie unlocking the secrets of radioactivity or Galileo observing the moons of Jupiter. Whether we're zooming in on the tiniest cells under a microscope or zooming way out to look at gravity holding planets in orbit, science is all about discovering new knowledge. It gives us our foundational understanding of the universe.
Next up, the T, technology. Now, if science is the discovery phase, technology is the application. It takes what science just figured out and turns it into tools and solutions that we can actually use in our day-to-day lives. It's the practical translation of all that scientific knowledge into the devices, the software, and the systems that make our lives easier, more efficient, and way more connected.
Then we have the E, engineering. Basically, think of engineers as the builders. They take the scientific knowledge and the technological tools, and they physically design and construct the complex systems around us. We're talking everything from those massive steel bridges we drive over, to the heavy machines in factories, right down to the microscopic circuits running the device you're using right now. Engineering is that hands-on discipline of creating robust, real-world structures.
And finally, the M, mathematics. Math sometimes gets a bad rap, but it is the essential, universal language that runs through absolutely all the other domains. It gives us the exact tools we need for measuring, analyzing, and predicting. Because think about it, without math, science couldn't accurately measure its results. Technology couldn't be programmed with precise algorithms, and those massive engineering bridges, they would literally collapse. Math ensures the whole shebang is perfectly accurate and precise.
Which leads us perfectly into Part 3, world-changing STEM innovations.
Now this brilliantly illustrates exactly how these fields collaborate, because they almost never work alone. An innovation in one area almost always relies on the others. Take MRI machines, for example. To build one, you need science to understand the complex physics of magnetism, engineering to physically design and build the massive machine, and technology for the digital imaging software to actually read the data. And the impact? It provides non-invasive imaging that saves countless lives through early diagnosis.
Or consider electric vehicles. You've got engineering for the physical car design, technology for the advanced battery systems, and mathematics to calculate optimal energy efficiency. The result there is a huge reduction in emissions and fossil fuel use. And space telescopes. These marvels need science for the astronomy, technology for the crazy precise optics, and engineering to build a satellite that survives the vacuum of space. Working together, they constantly expand our understanding of the cosmos.
Okay, let's take a quick breather. Before we move to our final topic, I want to challenge you to lock in what we've covered from the source material so far. Just in your head, can you list those 4 areas of STEM? Try giving one example of an innovation and its impact, or explaining how those fields team up, like we saw with electric vehicles. Recall that healthcare innovation we just talked about, and try to describe how math plays a crucial role in engineering. I really encourage you to pause and think through these mechanics. Grasping these basics is super important before we jump into the curriculum's final and honestly most thought-provoking topic.
All right, on to our final section, Part 4, Education, Morality, and Wisdom. So we've talked a lot about intelligence, right? About innovation and building these incredible, powerful tools. But here is where the HeroesMart Academy source material introduces its core philosophy. They argue that education without morality will hurt. The curriculum asks a pretty profound question. What is the actual point of being incredibly smart, of mastering science, tech, engineering, and math, if you just use it to make bad choices that hurt people? STEM gives humanity a massive amount of power, but the source material cautions that without a solid moral compass, that power can very easily be misused. And the curriculum draws a really sharp contrast here. On one side, it suggests that pure academic education without any morality can lead to harmful choices, simply because all that knowledge isn't being guided by a desire to do good. But then, on the flip side, it introduces a totally different path. The series intertwines biblical morality with education. It highlights a concept based on the book of Romans, chapter 8, which promises peace of mind to those who keep their minds spiritual. So, the curriculum is essentially saying that combining a STEM education with this moral framework is the true path to wisdom. It ensures you don't just gain raw intelligence, but you also get the peace of mind that comes from knowing you're using your skills to actually help the world. Which leaves us with one final, vital question from the curriculum. You're gaining the knowledge. You're learning the magic of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and you've seen firsthand how they can completely change the world. But the ultimate test isn't just about what you know, it's about what you choose to do with it. So how will you use your knowledge wisely? Will you be the innovator who brings wisdom and real purpose to your creations? The future of STEM is literally in your hands. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep questioning.